power. You were told it comes from honesty, from kindness, from following the rules. But deep down, you know that's not true. You've seen the liars, the manipulators, the ones who smile to your face and stab you the moment you turn around. They rise higher, faster, stronger. You've seen the ruthless dominate the kind, the bold silence the timid, the cunning exploit the innocent. And you ask yourself, how? Why do the wicked so often win, while the good suffer in silence? Machiavelli had the answer centuries ago, and his words remain so dangerous that they are still whispered in secret today. The world pretends not to believe him, but behind every throne, every boardroom, every empire, his truths are followed more faithfully than any religion. He looked at humanity and stripped away the illusions. He saw men not as they should be, but as they are. He saw that people are selfish, ungrateful, easily deceived, driven by fear and desire more than reason. And from that brutal understanding, he carved out rules that separate the rulers from the ruled, the predators from the prey. If you want to become the strongest version of yourself, if you want to step into a world where no one can toy with you, no one can dismiss you, and no one can control you, you must embrace these ruthless truths. You must shed the comforting lies society has fed you and replace them with the raw steel of reality. Let us begin with the first and most brutal truth. People will betray you. Not might, not goodwill. The friend who laughs with you today may envy you tomorrow. The ally who swears loyalty may shift sides when opportunity knocks. Even the one who claims to love you will abandon you if fear or gain whispers loudly. Enough. Why? Because loyalty is never absolute, it is transactional. It lasts only as long as it serves their interests. People do not cling to you out of principle, but out of need, out of fear, or out of lack of alternatives. And when those needs change, their loyalty evaporates. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He wrote that it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both, because fear binds people far more tightly than affection ever will. Love fades, gratitude dies, but fear lingers. Look at history. Great leaders were not kept in power by the love of the people, but by the fear of crossing them. Julius Caesar was adored by many, yet love did not stop his friends from plunging knives into his chest. Fear is less noble, but it is more reliable. And in your own life, you will see it. When you are weak, when you are forgiving, when you are endlessly patient, people exploit you. But the moment you show you cannot be crossed without consequence, the moment they realize your strength has teeth, suddenly respect appears. Do not waste time chasing love or loyalty. Build strength that inspires fear. But strength is not enough. Because the truth is, people do not judge you by reality, they judge you by appearance. Reputation is everything. It is more valuable than money, more durable than strength, more feared than law. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you are. That is why kings wear crowns and robes, not rags, even when starving their people. That is why corporations spend billions on branding while cutting corners behind the scenes. That is why individuals carefully curate their image on social media while drowning in chaos privately. It is not about truth, it is about perception. You could be wise, but if you appear foolish, no one will listen. You could be kind, but if you appear cruel, no one will trust you. You could be powerful, but if you appear weak, no one will follow. Reputation wins battles before they begin. It inspires fear in enemies and loyalty in allies without you lifting a finger. It is the invisible armor that protects you, the the invisible sword that cuts down opposition. Lose it, and even your closest allies will turn. Guard it as if your life depends on it, because it does. Every whisper about you matters. Every rumor shapes your destiny. And this is where deception enters. You were told never to lie, that honesty is noble, that truth is pure. But ask yourself this: has honesty ever saved you from betrayal? Has telling the truth ever protected you from the cruelty of others? More often, honesty exposes you. It makes you predictable. It gives others weapons against you. Machiavelli was clear: a wise man does not need to keep faith when keeping it is against his interest. This does not mean lying constantly, it means never revealing the full truth. The fox does not announce its hunt. The lion does not roar before the kill. Deception is the art of control. It keeps others unbalanced, guessing, doubting. When people cannot pin you down, they cannot control you. Do you think the great rulers of history rose through honesty? No. They cloaked themselves in virtue when it benefited them, then cast it aside when power demanded it. They promised peace while plotting war. They offered friendship while sharpening knives. They smiled while calculating betrayal. And the masses fell for it every time, because the masses want to be deceived. They crave illusions, because illusions comfort them. They would rather believe the lie that flatters them than the truth that wounds them. The wise man feeds them the lies they hunger for, while keeping the truth locked away, a weapon only he can wield that now. Consider morality. You've been told there is good and evil, right and wrong, that you must live by these rules, or else you are lost. But morality is not universal. It is not divine. It is a tool, a cage for the weak, a weapon for the strong. Look at history again. Rulers invoke morality when it suits them, then discard it when it does not. Kings slaughter thousands, then preach about honor. Nations invade others, then speak of justice. The wealthy hoard resources, then lecture about charity. Morality is theater, designed to control those too weak to see through it. Machiavelli understood this. He never said to abandon morality, only to use it strategically. Show virtue when it benefits you. Hide ruthlessness behind the mask of goodness. Break the rules only when it strengthens you, never when it weakens you. The masses are chained by morality. The powerful wield it like a disguise. And what of promises? You've been told a man is only as good as his word. But what is a promise, except words blown in the wind? Machiavelli said it. Men are quick to break promises when it benefits them, and only fools keep them to their own detriment. The strong know that promises are tools, not chains. You give your word when it gains you trust, when it secures advantage, when it buys time. You break your word when keeping it would destroy you. This is not weakness, it is survival. Do not bind yourself to words, bind yourself to results. There is also the illusion of equality. You were taught that all men are equal, that fairness governs the world. But equality is another lie. People are not equal in strength, in cunning, in willpower, in ambition. Some are born to rule, most are born to obey. And the world reflects this truth, no matter how loudly it preaches otherwise. The weak demand fairness only when it benefits them, but fairness does not exist in nature. The lion does not share with the lamb. The eagle does not ask permission from the mouse. The strong rise, the weak fall, and the world continues. The only real question is, will you rise or will you be trampled? Every day you face choices. Choices to be silent when you should speak. choices to forgive when you should strike, choices to trust when you should doubt. Each time, society whispers in your ear, be kind, be patient, be gentle. And each time, you weaken yourself. Each time, you step further away from power. Machiavelli's words are harsh because reality is harsh. If you want strength, if you want freedom, if you want to be untouchable, you must see through the illusions. Stop clinging to lies. Stop pretending the world is fair. Stop expecting people to act with honor. Begin to think like a ruler, not a subject. Power is not about kindness. It is not about fairness. It is about control. Control of yourself, control of your image, control of others. Those who master it rise. Those who ignore it are forgotten. And you must decide whether you will continue living blind or whether you will open your eyes and step into the ruthless truth. The greatest illusion of all is that you have time. Time to build strength, time to prepare, time to wait until the moment is perfect. But perfection never arrives, and hesitation is the most expensive weakness. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote that fortune is like a woman. Bold men seize it, timid men lose it. Opportunities do not wait. They appear like shadows, fleeting, and vanish just as quickly. The one who hesitates is crushed by the one who acts. You must train yourself to move with precision and boldness, to act when others pause, to strike when others hesitate. This alone separates leaders from followers. But boldness without calculation is suicide. Impulsiveness destroys more men than hesitation ever did. The difference is simple. Preparation in silence, execution in speed. The fox waits patiently, studying its prey, invisible in the grass. But when it moves without pause, without fear, without doubt. The masses confuse hesitation with patience, and recklessness with courage. You must embody the balance. Cold patience in planning, relentless fire in execution. And this requires control not of others, but of yourself. The weak man is not conquered by enemies. He is conquered by his own emotions. Rage blinds him. Desire chains him. Fear paralyzes him. Pride leads him into traps. How many men have destroyed themselves, not because they were outmatched, but because they were uncontrolled? The one who cannot master himself cannot master anyone else. Machiavelli understood this. To rule others, you must first rule yourself. Every impulse must be questioned. Every emotion must be tamed. The world is chaos, but your mind must be order. The stronger your inner discipline, the more chaos you can bend to your will. Think of anger. It feels powerful, intoxicating, like fire surging through your veins. But anger is a leash. Your enemy pulls it, and you dance like a puppet. He insults you, and you react. He provokes you, and you lash out. He controls you without lifting a finger. True strength is to feel anger but not be ruled by it. To wait, to watch, to strike not in fury but in strategy. The man who controls his anger can destroy an enemy when it hurts most, not when he feels like it. Or take desire. Men are slaves to it. Desire for wealth, for pleasure, for validation. And because of that, they are easy to manipulate. Offer them gold, and they kneel. Offer them beauty, and they crawl. Offer them applause, and they sell their soul. But the one who controls his desires is untouchable. He cannot be bribed, seduced, or flattered. He moves with clarity because nothing chains him. He uses desire as a weapon against others, but never lets it bind him. Even fear, the oldest and strongest of emotions, must be mastered. Fear whispers lies, that you are not ready, that you might fail, that it is safer to stay where you are. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever could. But once you see fear for what it is, a shadow, a ghost, you can use it. Fear sharpens the senses. Fear warns you of danger. Fear reminds you of what is at stake. The weak are paralyzed by it. The strong harness it. Master fear, and no man can intimidate you. This mastery of the self creates something rare, unpredictability. And unpredictability is power. Most men are predictable. They react the same way every time. Anger provokes rage. Insult provokes defense. Flattery provokes arrogance. Predictability makes you easy prey. But the man who is unreadable, who cannot be easily provoked, who does not move the way others expect, he is feared. Enemies cannot trap what they cannot predict. Allies cannot control what they cannot understand. Unpredictability makes you dangerous, but danger is not enough. You must also know when to be ruthless. Society tells you ruthlessness is cruel, that compassion is always better. But compassion at the wrong time is poison. Mercy to the wrong man is betrayal to the right one. If your enemy seeks your destruction and you spare him, you have given him time to sharpen his knife. If someone betrays you and you forgive them, you have taught the world that betrayal is tolerated. Ruthlessness is not cruelty for its own sake. It is clarity. It is the refusal to let weakness disguise itself as virtue. The wolf does not pity the sheep. The eagle does not spare the rabbit. Survival is ruthless. Strength is ruthless. And yet, you must learn to wield ruthlessness like a scalpel, not a hammer. Brutality at every moment makes you hated. Hated men fall quickly, but timely ruthlessness, precise and rare, inspires awe. It shows the world that your patience is vast, but your wrath is final, that you are not reckless, but you are absolute. This balance makes men cautious around you, respectful of you, unwilling to test you. They may not love you, they may not even admire you, but they will never underestimate you. Alongside ruthlessness comes another rule: never let yourself be dependent. Dependency is slavery. The one who depends on another for survival, for validation, for purpose, is already conquered. Machiavelli warned against mercenaries. For this reason they fight only for gold, not loyalty. And when the gold runs out, they turn on their master. The same is true in life. If your strength, your happiness, your confidence depends on others, you are vulnerable. They can withdraw, betray, or manipulate. You must build a foundation within yourself, wealth that cannot be stolen, strength that cannot be broken, confidence that does not need applause. Depend only on what you can control, and you will never be powerless. But this does not mean isolation. The strong man uses alliances, networks, and relationships, but always from strength, never from need. He does not cling. He does not beg. He does not fear loss. He enters alliances as a master, not a servant. And because he does not need, he chooses. That is true power. And then comes adaptability. The world changes constantly. Empires rise and collapse. Fortunes appear and vanish. Yesterday's truths become today's lies. The man who cannot adapt is broken by time. The man who clings to tradition, who refuses to bend, who believes strength alone is eternal, finds himself obsolete. Machiavelli compared fortune to a river. When it floods, it sweeps away the unprepared. But the wise man builds dams and channels to direct its flow. Flexibility is not weakness, it is resilience. It allows you to survive storms and then conquer in their aftermath. Adaptability requires intelligence, but not the shallow intelligence of memorized facts. It requires perception, the ability to see patterns others miss, to anticipate moves before they happen, to sense the turning of tides before others even notice the waves. This kind of intelligence is rare because it demands both patience and ruthlessness. Patience to watch, ruthlessness to act the moment the time is right. Finally, there is legacy. The strongest version of yourself is not just about survival today. It is about becoming untouchable tomorrow. Men die, power shifts, but legacy remains. What you leave behind, your name, your reputation, your influence outlives you. And here lies the final Machiavellian truth. Legacy is built not on kindness, but on strength. History does not remember the gentle. It remembers the conquerors, the rulers, the thinkers who reshaped reality. Your life must be lived with this in mind. Each choice is a brick. Each action is a stone. Build a monument or vanish as dust. Ruthless rules are not comfortable. They are not gentle. They do not flatter your illusions. They cut deep like blades against the skin of your beliefs. But they are true. And if you embrace them, you will no longer be the same. You will no longer be bound by lies of fairness, of loyalty, of morality. You will see clearly. You will move differently. You will rise where others fall. The path is not easy. It demands sacrifice. It demands solitude. It demands the courage to see humanity not as it should be, but as it is. But those who walk it emerge transformed, harder than steel, sharper than a blade, stronger than fear. And in a world ruled by deception, ruthlessness, and strength, you will not be prey. You will be predator. You will not be subject. You will be ruler. You will not fade into history. You will carve your name into it. The choice is yours. Continue living as you are comfortable, blind, predictable. Step into the dark. Embrace these rules and become something greater than anyone thought possible. Do not forget, the world will not wait for you. It will crush you, exploit you, betray you, unless you rise, unless you fight, unless you take what is yours with both hands. This is the truth Machiavelli whispered through the centuries. The truth most men are too afraid to hear. But you are not like most men.